Hi guys, Siri here, and this one we're gonna actually combine these elements here so they actually make sense, right, in terms of mechanics. So what we need to achieve here is to make sure that this wheel can actually turn, right? But at the same time, this bit needs to be connected to the main, to this supporting spoke, whatever the hell it's called. So what we need to do is, I think, split this one into two parts. So first of all, I'm going to move this somewhere so it's in the middle, more or less. Or in fact, we could move it slightly off, sort of off to the side like this, right? Kind of like that. This would also work. And this one would need to be sliced. So, kind of slashed in here, maybe even something like this, okay? Now this wheel, we need enough of room to move left and right, so we can just position it somewhere here, more or less in the middle, right, of this structure. Okay, doesn't have to be super in the middle, just more or less. And now we're going to split this one. Okay, so go to front view, and before we do anything, let's actually add some. In fact, not yet. Let's add two rings, one on the top and one on the bottom. And we're going to shift curve extruct this and make it a little bit, thicker, so it's not feeble, okay? Because it can't be feeble. In fact, we could make this a little bit thicker, right? So go to this one and add modifier, solidify, make it a little bit thicker, so, and apply it, right? Now we're going to connect this one, right, with this one. But before we do that, we need to actually slice it. So let's add some loops in here, right, to make quad-like structure. And we need to cut it, an opening for this. Okay, so go to box, and we need to cut an opening for this one. And this one's a little bit too close again, so move it a little bit further away, somewhere here. And then we're going to cut this one in here like that using a bevel. Okay, so we're going to slice through, right, and shift click to live. And now it's my screencast key is not working again. Just this add-on, man. This add-on. Anyway, so now we need to combine these two. So, this cannot be too close to this. This cut cannot be too close to this item because they need to be connected, merged together. And this one needs to actually give enough of room for this thing to turn this way, right? So GY and make it smaller. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this edge here and move it in here a little bit, okay? But at the same time, you need to pay attention if it's actually not cutting in here. So RZ, and let's simply rotate it this way, like this, okay? GX, and move it in here like this, all right? So make sure that this one isn't encroaching inside of this structure, right? And this is actually perfect. This is perfect. Now this is too tall. So what we're gonna do is SZ and scale it on, preferably its own origin. So SC and make it smaller, and GZ and put it in place. Still too big. So this can be a tight fit. That's okay, right? Cool. So now we can combine these two together. Like I said, be careful with bevels because reasons. So let's remove the bevel and let's apply all the booleans, right? And in fact, we could slush this one in, right? So we don't have this sticking out geometry, which is basically unnecessary. So what we're gonna do, Shift D and P and selection, and then select this one and A, F, E, and sort of push it down. And let's see this. This is with a boolean, so we need to remove the boolean. So it's not, not this boolean, the one in the middle, this one, boom. And sharpen, and let me see, this is good. Now let's go to the top view and make it a little bit larger and then slice it difference, okay? So now this part ends in the middle here inside of this, okay? So when I boolean this together, we're gonna be fine. So now when I'm going to select this, and then go to booleans and union, and then I'm going to simply select this main shape, right, and control click on sharpen, and everything should be good. Now when I'm gonna add bevel, we might see some problems, right, popping out, which we will need to fix. Okay, like for example here. So what's going on here? Shift 1 to fix this, 1 to fix this, 1 to fix this one, and we should be good. In a bottom, G, and down, come on, GG, and split them into these two, you know, and it should be fine. On this side, I'll be looking on this side. In this side, we get some disaster as well. So let's fix this. Wait a minute, there we go. We're on the other side. So let's hide this because it's confusing me. There you go. And what's going on here? Probably double verts. Press 3 to clean it with machine. That didn't work. So move this one here and this one here. And what is going on here? Simply bevel is too big. So we need to, you know, make this bevel a little bit less crazy. There you go. And in fact, this bevel is way too big for these, you know. Look at those chamfers. The chamfer has to be beveled, but not, you know, not super supple, okay? Because this is, you know, this is a machined part. It cannot be too soft to the touch. We're not building, you know, hot chicks in here. We're building hot rods, yeah? It's a bit different. Now, what we're gonna do is, in fact, select everything and unmark it, because we don't want marked sharps in these areas, and recalculate sharpens by holding Shift and Control and pressing on sharpen. And then we're going to select all these edges around here, right, except for this one and this one, and in the middle, so, you know, right here and all the way down here up to here, and then Control B and a bit of a chamfer. This is going to cause disasters, yeah, so we need to fix it. So, you know, just be aware of this, that this is going to cause problems, right? And if it causes too many issues, fix the geo before actually moving anything, all right? So make sure that these chamfers will not destroy your curvature, all right? Because it's going to be very difficult to fix. Like here, you see, this is quite dangerous. I need to move it backwards. This one needs to move somewhere here, and these ones are just, you know, out of order, yeah, so something like that should sort them out. You might want to fix the interior a little bit too, because you can kind of see this, right, from outside. So this, you know, something like this would not do. This probably can be removed, and this is gonna relax his face in the middle. Like I said, middle doesn't, I mean, inside doesn't matter because we can't see it, right? But if you wanted to make the inside perfect as well, you should run loops on both, you know, like we ran the loops outside, you should have them inside as well. But, you know, like I said, I'm not concerned because no one can see this. So these two combined, this is way too close, right, for comfort. And here too, I mean, this is not ideal. This is a disaster which needs to be fixed. There you go. And we should be fine. So this is also something here that needs attention. This one here, boom, fix, right? And you could technically remove this one if you wanted to. I mean, not the best idea, because you might lose the curve. Actually, you're not gonna lose the curvature because the top ring is holding it. So, you know, there you go. And that should do. Move it to cutters, and we are fine. I think there's some kind of a shading issue in here, or am I seeing things? This angle is massive, yeah, it's really big. So you could just, you know, run something like this just to relax it a bit, you know. Hopefully it's gonna fix it. This probably could be better in here than this, just saying. And maybe even this would make sense. And there you go. And then we need to combine these two, right? So like I said again, be careful with the bevels, so just remove it and, you know, rerun sharpens and combine these both. And before you do that, let's run some loops in here. And by the way, this one, right, you always need to check, okay, this is important, always need to check how many loops the object you're connecting to has. And this one has a lot, you see, it's quite dense, meaning we need to create a lot more loops in here for a smooth transition, okay? So when I combine them two by union, we're gonna have far less problems that we would have had if I didn't do it, you see. So we got some shading problems naturally, but they're not as crazy as, let's just remove it from here. They're not as crazy as, you know, they could have been, you see. It's quite clean actually. Also, let's go back here for a sec. I also need to run loops on this one. I forgot that. So we need loops here too. So let's just run loops like this, and now we should be fine. So booleans and union, and then sharpen, and then bevel, and then we just simply need to clean it up, okay? So cleanup is unavoidable, guys. It's just, there's no way to, you know, go around it, right? But like I said, if you have patience, everything is doable, okay? So you need patience for these things. You could do a normal transfer, but you still will need to clean some stuff up. You could use a, you know, add-ons like shift 1 here, mesh machine, yeah, mesh machine for this, and run boolean cleanup, and it probably solve a lot of problems, right, out of the gate. But you know, we're not using mesh machine here, so we need to soldier on without it. This is way too close for this bevel. You could combine these two easily into one, so it's gonna create some shading problems. Shift 1 here, honestly probably shift 1 here as well. There you go, that's better. This is not a perfect shading, but never will be if you're not going to run normal transfer. There's just no such thing as perfect shading after, you know, such brutal boolean, because this boolean is quite savage, yeah. So combine here, combine these two as well, and you see, like, these angons are massive, right? So what you could do, GG, run here. What you could do is run a support in here, okay, for these, right? Like this, right? And this would solve a lot of problems. These needs to be fixed for sure. This is way too close, so GG, and move it outside. And preferably combine these two. This one is again too close. Combine it in here. Combine these two. And you got some problems underneath, but no one's gonna see this, okay? Because of the there's simply far too it's far too deep to see this, okay? There's gonna be so much AO over there, and shift 1 here. That's, you're gonna be seeing this in render, okay? It's gonna be pitch black over there or close to it, so there's no way you're gonna be seeing that shading issue over there. But if you wanted to clean it, you could shift 1 here. When they're close together, go shift 1. Usually solves the issue. Always bring these verts outside the bevel range, yeah? Because this is always gonna cause problems. This could be connected here. There's some serious issues in here. Again, bevel is being torn apart by vert being too close. Shift 1, same story, different day. This could be connected like this, to be honest. This one's a little bit close. This one is close too. And this one here, and this one, I could bring it back here, okay. I think this should do. So how we looking? We almost fixed it. Now we got some problems in here and this one, and we should be flying. There you go. We got some problems still, shading errors in here. Let me see if you can fix them. So shift 1, shift 1. That's kind of bad here, to be honest. So shift 1, that's better. This could be split in half. Not sure if it's gonna help. No, it will not. Fine, so we're gonna do something like this and remove this one and combine these two. Okay, this is probably gonna be a better solution. You see, it's the way these angles bend. Okay, that's important, right? So like if I combine this one here and move this one here and shift 1, this is gonna clean this up. You see, it's how they bend. You need to think how they bend in terms of 3D space, and that's how you fix these problems, right? It's almost perfect. Almost perfect. We got some still banged up stuff in here, but also remember that this is a mechanical part, so it's supposed to be slightly banged up. This shouldn't be there's a vert here. This should probably connect it like this, you know. There you go. So you know it's clean. So let's save this because it's a lot of work. Let's go back here and we can see how we're looking. Now we're looking really cool. We're looking really cool. Now see, this makes sense, you know, structure wise. Yeah, this makes sense structure wise. And now we could, you know, we could slice the top of this one here. So we could go with X and slice it and sharpen this one and sharpen this one, and you know, create some chamfer in here and also chamfer in here. So select the bottom part and just turn off this path through for a second and Control B, chamfer, perfect. And we could lift it a little bit to the top and insert it just a tiny bit and just drop it down like this, and boom, right? In fact, we could connect it a little bit better. So Shift D and make it a bit smaller, but I mean bigger. But first, origin to geo, make it a little bit bigger. Remember to remove the bevel, right? And then simply difference, okay? And then remove this one and sharpen. And now this kind of a piston, you know, or whatever it is, goes. You can see that it actually physically goes inside and creates a bit more drama and interest, right? So that is pretty cool. And the bottom can be, as you know, like this. Or what we could do is create something different here. So, you know, insert it a little bit, extrude it, insert it just a tiny bit, and simply, you know, do something like this and chamfer it. And it's gonna, you know, break this bottom bond, the bottom of the bottom. Maybe this chamfer is a bit too big. Smaller one would do. Yeah, there we go. Looking pretty cool, right? Looking pretty good. Okay, so that's that. And in the next video, we're gonna do the back, okay, in the same way. So we're getting somewhere, guys. All right, guys, we'll catch you in the next video.